I am so sick of everyone saying like, oh, women suck in dating, men suck in dating, like, oh, blah, blah, blah. No, they don't. People with unhealthy relationship styles suck in dating. People that can't communicate suck in dating. People that don't think about other people's feelings suck in dating. It's not men against women. It's unhealthy versus healthy. Join the healthy club, because I am so sick of everyone complaining and no one doing anything about it, because you think like, it's such a big problem. How could any one person do it? Follow my page. That's what I'm doing. I am single-handedly trying to rescue the Australian dating scene, and I'm going to do it. But I need your help. And it's going to be a group effort, or it's not going to be anything at all. We've got to do it as a team.
Ho, ho! Fiction, Ken!
I was FaceTiming a man, I know, gross, last night. A man that's trying to court me, if you will. And he said something about how he wanted to get a laundry service. He was like, I think I'm gonna get a laundry service to start doing my laundry for me. It's like $200 a month. They'll pick it up, drop it off, folded, all that. And I was like, oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. I was like, that's one thing I could do. It would be like hire a cleaning person, hire someone to do my laundry, because I don't want to do that. And he goes, oh, really? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, so you're not domesticated like that? Can you build a f***ing house? I'm sorry, I'm not domesticated like that because I don't want to do your f***ing laundry. I don't want to do my own laundry. Why would I do yours?
So I saw a video about this passport bro guy on Instagram, right? Showing like a little vlog of him taking his girlfriend out on a date. He started off the video by taking out like $80. He was showing how he's spoiling his girlfriend, right? Like he got her like a lash service and like nails. And then he said, oh, I'm gonna test her after I did all this for her, to taking her on a date to 7-Eleven. She's like, oh, I love it. You do so much already for me. And inside the 7-Eleven was like actually like a restaurant, like a club inside. And it was like a cute little club. My thing is, I commented this on my video. I'm like, and also he spent $80 on a date, like $80. Like, come on. And I commented, oh, I get all this from men in the US and Miami. Like, you guys are just broke and don't date beneath your means in the United States. So you guys go to other countries to be able to afford the women that you want to date, instead of working hard to afford the women you want to date in the United States, right? As you guys can expect, so many men got mad at me. Are we surprised that they got so emotional? My point is, and you're never gonna change my mind about this, currency for women is looks and beauty, and currency for men is regular currency, like money. The society that men built for us, doesn't matter if a woman doesn't have any money, but if she's pretty, she's gonna be able to get ahead in life, right? But if a man is ugly and he works hard and he has money, he's gonna be able to get ahead in life, like finding a wife. So instead of this man working harder to afford the woman that he wants to have in the United States, he cheapened out. He went the cheap route and then went to another country to find a girlfriend, which is totally fine for him, right? The thing is, the men in the comments were coming at me for saying that I expect this kind of stuff for men in the United States. This girl and I are the same thing. She's expecting nice things too. She expects her man to pay for her lashes, nails, get her flowers, take her on amazing dates. The only difference between her and I, or women in the United States and her, is that these men are able to afford her. They don't have an issue with her wanting those things. They have an issue with the fact that they can't afford it in the United States, but they can cheapen out and do it in other countries. They were calling me all these slurs, saying that I'm an HOE, that I'm a gold digger. When her and I date the same. We date the same type of men that we want providers, do things for us, like taking us to nice dinners, pay for our nails, like take care of us and be a provider. But you guys are mad at me because you can't afford it in the United States, but you are able to do it in Thailand or Vietnam, right? Like $80 is not a lot of money. $80 is what I spent on like a lazy Wednesday night, where like my mom and I are like, hey, do you want to go get some tacos and like margaritas or something? And we go and spend $100 on this. Like, we're going in sweatpants and like a t-shirt. Like, that's like $80 is like, it's not like a big thing. It might be a big thing for you, but for a lot of people in the United States, it's kind of an average, regular meal out. It's not like a big fancy meal. They're not going over there to date women that are working hard and paying 50-50 and they're like manteniéndolos a ellos. They're going over there to do the same things they would do in America, but they can't afford it, so they go to another country to do it. So I don't understand why I'm a gold digger and why women in the United States are gold diggers. They want the same things. It's just that you are able to afford it there and you're not able to afford it here. Imagine if a conventionally unattractive American woman was saying, oh, I can't find a good looking man to want to date me, so I'm gonna go to another country and I'm gonna pay him to go out on dates with me and whatever. You guys would be coming at for that woman, saying she can't find nobody in the United States who she can't afford, and because she's not pretty, she's not a conventionally attractive woman. So just admit that you're broke and you guys can't afford to date the types of women you want to date here, because I'm sure there's a lot of women would date you that would probably split bills with you, but that they're not as attractive as you might want them to be. But it's because you're not able to afford really attractive women. So the problem isn't women in the West are asking for too much, is that you're not able to afford it, so you go do the same exact things that women in the West are asking for and do it in a price that you are able to afford. And just admit that women in the West don't have a problem with you doing whatever you want to do, because we're not looking to date broke bums. But just admit that you're doing the same you would do if you were actually rich in the United States. You're doing it in another country just because you can't afford it here.
You say that so often. Wonder what your basis for comparison is.
The other day, a man looked me in the face and said, Aubrey, why are there so many single women like you in their 30s who complain about how awful it is to date, how bad the modern day dating pool is? Because I'm a man, I'm single in my 30s, I have no kids, and I have so many options out here. You guys just have to, pick better men. And then he said something along the lines of relationships being a walk in the park or something like that. And I'm over here like, what park are you walking through? Because I'm trekking through Jurassic Park with a machete. I'm glad that you're strolling through Central Park enjoying the scenery, but women are out here fighting for our lives. Hey, in theory, I agree with you. Women should pick better men. But you want to know what that would require? That would require men to, be better. But I'm so glad that you're having a great time dating. I fear it's because you are, in fact.
Okay, does anyone want to be like my goth, nonchalant boyfriend or girlfriend while I'm over here being a bimbo? Because, I like being a bimbo. It suits me well, I got big tits, pretty face, I'm a little dumb. I used to be blonde, so that was even more bimbo-y. But I love the aesthetic of, other people that are, emo and goth and dark. I just feel like it doesn't suit me. I have freckles and I just it doesn't suit me on the regular dagular. And I love people who look like that. And I want that dynamic. Does anyone want to do that with me? I love the bimbo and emo goth nonchalant. And you can just love me. I'm a little bit dumb. I'm outgoing. And you're just nonchalant in the corner, being all cool, mysterious, but you love me, even though I'm a bimbo.
I mean, you watch these clips, and you get the feeling that these modern women think that they're owed this type of stuff. I mean, the way they talk about, well, I deserve this and I want that and a man should, is exactly the reason why men don't be in a relationship with you guys. Y'all aren't good people. You're not pleasant to be around. I mean, when you start running your mouth, you're insufferable. There's no way that I can say that with as much passion and as much emphasis as I need to. It's just the way that y'all go about your life and your business. Nobody would ever want to date you.
Married men statistically outlive single men because wives saves lives. Simple as that. For those of you who are new here, I am a certified life coach. I specialize in love and relationships, self-development, and finances, and I have been doing so for close to a decade. And what I don't need y'all doing is jumping in this comment section talking about, oh, well, this basketball player's ex-wife and this multimillionaire's ex-wife. Baby, you're not in that category, so I need y'all to sit down and take a seat. And the same thing about that is those men did not pick properly. The same way I tell women that they need to be better and do better in the dating phases, you men need to do better at picking your girlfriend and choosing who your wife will be. Because if you are choosing the proper girlfriends for you and you are choosing the proper wives for you, someone that's actually going to be there for you, someone that's actually going to provide peace, someone that's actually going to be there for your emotional and your mental stability, someone that's actually going to take your health concerns seriously, someone that's going to actually take your dreams and your goals seriously, baby, you're going to accomplish everything that you want to accomplish in your life. And as the bare bones, the minute that you feel anyway ill, sick, just you got a cough, that lady's going to schedule a doctor's appointment for you, and she's going to be on top of you to ensure you get all your labs, to ensure you take all the tests, so on and so forth. Nothing, and I mean nothing, will beat having a good woman in your corner as a man. Having a woman that believes in you, having a woman that sees you, having a woman that respects you. And I don't want to hear nothing about these new women this and these new women that, because I've seen these new women respect men who didn't deserve it. So I don't understand why you can't find one that's going to respect you. Choose the right girlfriend. Choose the right wife. See how you can cross waters and climb mountains and reach the pinnacles of success. And I'm not asking you, I'm telling you this. Stay safe.
Would y'all like to know what it's like to date in 2025? Great, I'll tell you. So I have Facebook dating. Embarrassing but true. And on my Facebook profile, I put my Snapchat name because it's just easier for me to get messages, see messages, than going through like the whole app or whatever. Today, a guy asked me on Snapchat. And he's like, hey, how you doing? I'm at work. I'm busy. I don't answer. And then a little while later, he hits me with oh, did you add me just to ignore me? Sir, it's regular business hours. I have a job. Do you have a job? Like, I have a whole job. I have questions for you now. Like, are you not working? Do you have shift? Anyways, so after I'm working, I don't owe you anything. He basically proceeds to tell me that I'm fat. Crazy. I didn't know. Was I fat before I hurt your feelings? Or was I only fat after? I've got questions. I've got a lot of fat questions.
So I'm from San Diego, California, and I'm 26, and I just really feel like I'm actually going to be alone forever at this point in my life. I go out, I try to look good. I don't know if it's because I'm ugly or I'm fat, and no, I'm not fishing for compliments. Maybe I'm not fat, but I just feel like no one ever hits on me. I don't ever get complimented. I've been told that maybe it's because I have like a rest face, which maybe I'm guilty of. But either way, it's just so sad because it's like, how else am I ever going to find anyone? That's why I feel like I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life, because I'm shy. I don't have many friends. I don't go out much. I just don't understand how this is going to happen. Like, are they going to fall from the sky? Workplace, I don't know. I don't like dating people from work. All I'm trying to say is it just feels like when I go out, people are just so disconnected. It's not like how it used to be. I always feel like there's way prettier women out there than me, which is obviously true. And I don't know if it's like insecurity that's making me feel this way, but no one ever hits me or hits on me or approaches me, and I will never do that to a man. But I still want to meet somebody. So I don't know if anyone's in the same situation, the same boat. But yeah, and I hate dating apps. I will never, ever, 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 ever download one. So how else am I supposed to find somebody? Whatever.
Just had a boy not show up for like a meetup that we had planned yesterday. And his excuse was that nothing was set in stone. Which is... Originally, it was supposed to be today that was going to happen. So, like, fair play, something came up. I had to change the days, but I texted him to switch to yesterday as soon as I knew. I gave him as much notice as I could. We live in different cities, so it's a little bit of a drive, and I offered to meet somewhere halfway between at first, and he was like, absolutely not, I'm a chivalrous person, chivalry's not dead, I'll come to you. I was like, cool. I got a tiny bit of cold feet on the day of course. Someone new, I've never met them before. They're driving to meet me. That just always stresses me out. It just feels like a lot of pressure. And I think he picked up on that, which is fair. He was like, are you sure? I feel like you don't want me to come. And I was like, no, I want you to come, but it makes me nervous. And he was like, no, that's fair. He was like, look, if we don't vibe, I can just get a hotel. And I was like, okay, cool, come down. And then he just didn't, like, he just didn't come. And then I'm like, it's getting later and later in the day, and I'm like, we're running out of time here, like, what's going on? And so this morning I just sent a text like, hey, like, I like someone who comes when he says he's going to come, basically. And his excuse was that nothing was actually set in stone and some things came up, and like, he had an explanation, which is fine, but I was like, I knew all week that you were coming. I had kept my day free for you, and like, sorry, but that's nothing set in stone. Like, I don't know, that's just like, he apologized for not coming through and that it wasn't his intention, which is fine, but I'm just like, intentionally or not intentionally, disappointing. And to anyone who is out there who is doing a similar thing, like, you're making a promise, or not necessarily a promise, like, you're not promising anything and then using that as an excuse to like absolve guilt or whatever from like not showing up for something that you said you would show up for, you are probably like the 6th or 7th person who's done the same thing to a girl, and then you wonder why we get so upset and like call you out for this happening. Because now I feel like maybe I bit the bullet too quickly on it, but I'm also like, again, this has happened so many times now, like, I just don't have the energy to keep going through this whole cycle of ambiguity and then disappointment. Like just get it together. Do what you say you're gonna do. Like, is it really that hard?
I mean, women over and over again keep on asking, why don't men approach me? Why don't men hit on me? Where are all the single men hiding? Why can't I find a good man? Once again, I want to say check your friend zone, but I want to say check your friend zone in the broadest sense. You know what I mean? Like, maybe there's a lot of dudes that you put in the friend zone that you don't like. But when I say friend zone, let it be synonymous, or let it be a representation of all of the dudes that you've overlooked, that have been right in front of your face, and you've decided, not for me, just because you didn't like the fact that he wore Levi's instead of Dockers. Modern women, and it sounds stupid, but modern women actually think that way. They'll actually disqualify a man for the tiniest things and then be wondering why 10 years later they're still single.
Y'all, I have been struggling. I have been on my knees crying, asking God why I'm alone. And I know people are crying for much deeper reasons than that. But I have been struggling with that because that's not what I want. But what you want is not always what is right for you in that moment. I have to keep reminding myself that God has someone out there, especially for me. He's working on his heart, prepping him for me just the same way that he is prepping my heart for him. I just can't wait for that moment, and being patient. It's hard.
Okay, hi. I feel so awkward and uncomfortable doing this, but I am begging you to not scroll for a second and just hear me out on this. I have had a really rough week financially with my cat getting sick, and that was like $2,000 that I had to pay to keep her alive. But now my car won't start, and I'm already upside down on the loan, and I've been working so hard to get to a place where I could like get it taken care of, but now it won't even start. And I'm gonna show you something that's in my TikTok shop that I actually really like. I'll put a product demo at the end, but it's just this little squeegee, but it's really cool. You can put some Windex stuff in here and spray it, and it's got a scrubber side and a squeegee side. But even if you can't purchase it, if you wouldn't mind just engaging, sharing this post, put it in your shopping cart. I could really use the boost right now. I'm really trying super hard to just stay afloat, so I would really appreciate it. And I'm so sorry if this is embarrassing. I'm not trying to be embarrassing, but thank you for at least listening if you're still watching this.
This is for all the 50-something women out there that are single and for the men that want to date them. Dating when she's finally happy alone is a different game because now she's not dating out of loneliness. She's not dating because she's bored or broken or trying to fill a void. She's dating from a place of peace, of snacks, of silence and sweatpants, and she's questioning everything. Like, why would I trade this little cozy bubble of emotional stability for a man who makes me feel anxious, confused, or constantly second-guessing myself? You think I'm going to give up eating ice cream straight from the tub and a hoodie that smells like heaven to babysit someone's grown-ass ego? Please. Woman is happy alone. She's no longer impressed by bare minimum energy. She's not excited by good morning texts that lead nowhere. She's not clapping for I was just busy excuses or breadcrumb attention. She's calm, she's healed, she's protective of her space, and if the vibe feels like emotional turbulence wrapped in fake deep conversations and inconsistent affection, she's out immediately. No dramatic exit, no 3-hour argument, no begging him to try harder. Just a quiet no thanks, followed by her Netflix, her favorite blanket, and absolutely zero anxiety. Because peace is expensive. And she paid full price for it with tears, with lessons, with long nights of healing and boundaries that were built like brick walls. She's not giving up that because of someone that has a nice smile and a good playlist. She needs consistency, not chemistry, effort, not empty promises, a man, not another project. So if dating feels like a job interview, a group project, or a therapy session she didn't ask to lead, it's a hard no. Because when a woman has learned to love her own company, any man who enters her life better make it feel like a bonus, not a burden. She's not lonely. She's selective. She's not bitter. She's aware. And the moment you make her feel like being alone might be better than being with you, she will choose peace every single time. So if you want her, come correct or don't come at all, because she's already got silence, snacks, and sweatpants. And honestly, that's a tough act to follow.
Cutting food stamps in November is absolutely strategic. Lenin said, every society is only 3 meals away from a violent revolution, and Trump has been doing everything he can think to get us to respond in a way where he can take over as a dictator, where he can send in troops to states because we're so violent. But what have we been doing? We've been showing up in inflatable costumes. We've been protesting 7 million strong, no arrests, and he's getting tired of it. So what is he going to do? He's going to cut off 40 million people on short notice, and now they can't feed their families. And what is going to happen? People are going to start taking, and we're going to look the other way, but he's not going to let that happen. He's going to put these people that do ICE or whoever these people are, these white nationalist Proud Boys, to snitch on hungry people. Tell me again how this man is the person sent by Christ.
If you think the SNAP benefits cut isn't going to impact you because you're not on SNAP benefits, you are sorely mistaken. And I'll tell you why. $100 million plus annually is given out in food stamps every year in the United States. Every dollar spent equates to about $1.50 to $1.80 in economic activity. This is because groceries have to restock their shelves, food production, farmers, packaging, logistics, truckers, all of them are impacted by this economic activity, okay? So the government gives out 100 million plus, and then the GDP is impacted positively by like 150 to 180 billion dollars a year.
if you take away those SNAP benefits and you take away that spending, every supply chain that I just mentioned suffers. Grocery stores will have to raise all of their prices to make up for the billions of dollars of losses. Truckers will lose their jobs. Farmers will suffer. Supply chains will suffer from everywhere, from packaging, logistics, all of it. All bad news for everybody involved. But most importantly, we suffer. Everyone suffers, not just the food stamps benefits, the beneficiaries of that program. We suffer because now we're going to be spending more to make up for it. We're still going to be paying taxes though. So those taxes that some people think pay for food stamps for other people, you're actually investing in the economy. You're not investing in poor people or whatever it is that people seem to think. You're literally investing in the economy when you pay your taxes, and your taxes go to things like this. So yes, you are helping to feed people, but you're also helping to stimulate the economy in which you live, keeping the prices low. Like, I don't understand how this isn't common sense. If $100 billion a year is taken away from grocery stores, logistics, trains, the entire chain suffers, and we pay for it. So we pay taxes still. They're not going to be giving it to the food stamps recipients. We still give that money away. It's not like, oh, we're cutting off SNAP so you don't have to pay that part of your taxes anymore. No, we still have to pay those taxes. It's just that we don't know where that money is going to go now, right? We don't know what they're going to do with that money if they take it away from people who need it. We're not going to be stimulating our economy anymore, though. And we're all going to be paying more at the cash register. So if you see people in comments or whatever talking about, oh, the food stamp people are just going to have to get jobs like the rest of us, we're going to lose a lot of jobs too. Because the supply chains aren't going to need as many people, because they aren't going to need to produce as much, because not as many people will be spending. It's all cause and effect, and I don't know how that's missed on by most people.
Just listen to her talk about any man needs to be in her life, and any man that's in her life needs to make it feel like a bonus is going to be a no. People talk about in relationships not expecting too much from the other person. Obviously, I disagree with that. In relationships, you should expect something from somebody, but the way in which what you expect from somebody needs to be defined, and it needs to be reasonable. You know what I mean? You're talking about it needs to feel like a bonus. A bonus is additional. You're still in the mindset of, if he comes in, then he comes in. If not, but if he does come in, well, he better be doing this, and this. And you go down the laundry list of things that he needs to do in order to prove his worth. And that's when men say, hold up. If I need to feel like a bonus to you, then you need to feel like a bonus to me. And that's when a lot of conversations stop. Because a lot of modern women, they don't want to do anything. They don't want to prove themselves. They think, just me sitting in front of you is the bonus. No, it's not. You adding value to my life in the way that you help, you support, you nurture. Those are the types of things, especially as I get older, that I'm looking for. I'm looking for peace in my life. And if I gotta chase you around all day, it's not very peaceful to me.
So I keep hearing something about this whole lonely man epidemic. And if you're a man, I want you.
I just decided today that the next man I date, I need him to be able to tie down to a truck. I need you to be able to load up a truck, be able to tie it down and get me to where I'm going. Because every man I've dated can't do that, and every man in my family can do that. The lady who waxes me just told me her husband can fix anything. She's like, my washer and dryer breaks, he knows how to figure it out, order the part on Amazon and fix it himself. Same thing with their plumbing, their sink broke. And I'm like, brother, The last man I dated tried to jumpstart my car and it up so bad that my car legitimately broke, and then I had to take it to get fixed, and he like up a part that was going to cost me $3,000. Are you kidding me? So that's gonna be my next question. Do you know how to tow a trailer, like hitch a trailer onto a truck if I needed that done? I need a manly man in my life, not these pretty boys. No more.
Be very mindful of the music you're listening to. I know you're not going to like that, but bad luck, it has to be said, because a lot of these songs are men talking about women being like this. They don't care about this, they only care about money, they only care about, I don't even want to say the word, you know, all those very rude things that they say about women. Why listen to that? Because it has a good beat, but you're singing it, so you're also, back to point one, you're literally speaking life into that. Why would you want to do that? Why are you belittling yourself? Be very mindful of the music you're listening to, because it's so catchy that you end up singing it and you don't realize that you're singing it. They're talking about, men are talking about how they cheat on their girl and their girl always take them back. Sorry? Have you ever heard of a guy singing, well, maybe some, but very rare, a guy singing, oh yeah, she cheated on me, but that's okay, I took her back? Like, all the guys sing about the girls, because girls literally always say, I will take him back. A man, it's very rare for him to take you back if you cheat on him. They have too much pride. They actually respect themselves, you know? Like, whereas women, I saw a video and every woman's like, oh yeah, I probably would. And they asked guys, every single guy said, no. Like, they'd laugh, because they're like, as if I would. Like, where has our respect gone?
Men want to be chased so bad. Like, since when did we switch roles? This is why we call y'all a princess, because y'all want princess treatment. So yeah, you want to act like a bitch, you're going to get treated like one. Okay? So yeah, I'm not going to text you first. I'm not going to call you first. But if I do text you first, then I'm going to text you good morning, princess, because you're a princess. Because if I don't text you, you don't text me. Like, what type of is that? So you're literally a princess. Okay? And yeah, I mean, we're not gonna go 50-50. No. And y'all be wanting to do the bare minimum, like literally. Taking somebody to eat is the bare minimum, because a lot of us, we could pay for our own food. Okay? We're not dusty over here. Like, we could literally go to a 5-star restaurant and pay for our own. So if you think that's doing the most, but anyways, if you complain about girls so much, just go get a guy. That's it, and call it a day. But don't be over here wasting our time, you know, doing the bare minimum. Like, bye.
Move. Side note, I just truly want to know, like, for a man to not know how to cook at a certain age, like, what's the cutoff? Like, when do you give them the excuse that it's okay? Like, in your 20s, sure, like, whatever, you don't know how to cook. Your 30s, I mean, and 30s to 40s, I just feel like you should know. Like, why am I meeting men that just don't know how to cook? I'm like, do you know how to grill? Like, I'm confused. Like, should we excuse these men? Like, you eat out every night. Like, it just boggles my mind that, like, you're a grown man and you don't know how to cook. I didn't even know that was normal. So, like, I'm talking to this guy and I'm asking him questions about himself. It wasn't a date. It was just me asking. And it was just, like, us at the bar. And I'm just like, you're, like, in your 40s, bro. And you don't know how to cook. He's like, I know how to clean. What? Beg your pardon? He's like, I could chop onions. I could chop tomatoes. Can bare minimum? Like, okay. Like, am I bugging? Like, I'm thinking that at an age, there's certain age that you just kind of like, you just know how to cook. You just learn how to cook. Like, I've learned how to cook. I could say fully my late 20s, my early 30s. Like, when I hit, yeah, my late 20s, but 30. But for a man to be, I'm like, it's just so weird. This society is so weird. I don't get it. Like, how don't you know how to cook? But you know how to clean. I would hope so, sir. I hope you know how to clean. Goodness. It looks like I'm going to stay single.
All right, singles. So what I am hearing and seeing a lot online is women saying men just don't ask us out. Like, we want to be approached at the gym, at Target, out and about, at the bar. Even when they're dating online, it's this, we sit and chat back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and it never leads to a date, or it seldom does. And they're like, just ask me out. Like, I don't want to pen pal. I don't want to sit here and chat with you. Let's go out. Let's just meet up. And it seems like they're seeing more and more that it's just hard. It's hard to get that date. So, guys, tell me why. Tell me your thoughts on this. Do you ask women out? Do you approach them in person? Why or why not? Weigh in on this. Send me your comments. Comment on this post. We'd love to get your thoughts, because it wasn't that long ago that these apps did not exist and you had to pretty much approach somebody if you wanted to go out on a date. So there's just kind of been this really dramatic decrease in that in-person interaction in a very short amount of time. So weigh in. I'm very curious.
Stop telling me to go meet someone in the wild when I go in the wild and someone will be staring at me the whole entire night and won't come say hi. How many more times is that going to happen? How many more times am I going to be in the bar, playing pool, at the coffee shop, on a walk, and I will be staring down another person who is staring me down, smiling across the table, whatever, and you don't come say hi? Oh my gosh. What am I meant to do, you guys? Am I going to have, like, we always have to make the first move or something? Because, like, oh my gosh.
Oh, poor you.
Time is called for desperate measures.
To be honest, some of y'all don't even know how to cook dinner. There was a woman that was on the internet she was on social media, and she was essentially saying, I don't know what the men are going to do. I don't know what happened to us women. Our grandmothers, our aunts, our mothers, they used to be able to cook. I don't know what happened to us. I mean, if he gets with us, well, if he gets with me, I'm not going to be cooking. I know how to make a girl dinner. I know how to feed myself. But as far as me cooking, I can't cook for a man. I don't know how to cook. He better know how to cook. I don't know what men are going to do, because more and more women aren't cooking. And she was saying that as it was a badge of honor. Like, men should be proud to wife that. Like, men should be happy. And women in the comments are like, oh, yeah, me too, same. Instead of building your value and telling somebody this is what I can do, you're actually subtracting from your value and going even further into the negative. I don't think I understand that strategy.
Hey guys, this is for 30-year-old women who are Christian and still single. I'll start by saying this. I turned 30 last year. I'm going to be 31 this fall. I have never been asked out on a date in my life, and I mean that. Never. I've never been approached by a guy. I've never had a man show interest in me. And I would never have admitted to that a couple years ago. I was ashamed and embarrassed about that. I was like, oh, it's because I'm stupid maybe, or, I'm not attractive, or all these things. Like, I thought it was a deficiency in me. But I have been hearing from other women the exact same thing, especially Christian women, where it's like, no one, I'm 27, I'm 28, I've never been asked out. And so I think there's a problem on both sides. I think that women get blamed a lot, where people will say, you hoard yourself in your 20s, and you cared about your career and you did all these things to keep men away from you. And I think I never did any of that stuff. And I know a lot of other women who didn't do that stuff. And they're just, men aren't asking women out maybe. I don't know. I do put myself out there, and I know other women who put themselves out there. We'll get all cute. We'll go to the tea shops. We're very open to having conversations with strangers. And, we do a lot of things in hopes that someone will just walk up to us and say, hey, here's my number or whatever. However that works, I don't know. And there's not a lot of men doing that. And I will make some more videos. I have stories and stuff I'd like to share. But anyways, I hope it's an encouragement to those who are like me, because I didn't see any videos like this a year ago, and that would have been really helpful. So that's why I'm putting this out there. Don't be embarrassed. Jesus loves you, and I don't know, maybe we can fix this or talk about how we can fix it.
So I would love to get married again, but now it seems like men don't want to get married anymore. Like, why is this? Can't we just get a prenup and be happy and be married? I get it where there's so many people that just live together and they live a married life, but they don't actually get married. Are people at least getting rings still? So at least you can show, like, I'm taken when you're out and about if you don't want to get married. What is the real reason men don't want to get married anymore? Is it money? Is it they've already had half of their stuff taken from a divorce, so they're bitter? I'm really curious. I feel like the partnership that comes with marriage is just a little bit different than if you're just dating someone, because they can always cut bait and jump ship because there's nothing to lose. When you do have like skin in the game, I feel like people would be more apt to like work through challenges, try to figure it out to stay together, versus if you're never married, it's easier just to be like, okay, fight and run away. But are guys really not wanting to get married anymore? Let me know in the comments.
Show of hands for everybody who knew.
So here's advice I have for like younger women. When you encounter a man and he says he doesn't want to get married, there's two reasons usually. One, he either sees you as not the one or like a side piece or whatever to use. Or two, he just genuinely don't believe in marriage. In any case, you should respect that and act accordingly. So what you do is you don't give him the wife treatment because you're wasting your effort. Like, why give the wife treatment to someone who doesn't want a wife? It literally doesn't make any sense. Like, sometimes women do that to see if they can like change the guy's mind or something, but in most cases it doesn't work out well. So yeah, if a guy doesn't want to be married, you might as well just view him as a boy. Like, you're better off. So other than that, like, I would say Too Long Didn't Read, like, don't invest yourself into a relationship where a man doesn't want to get married, literally. And honestly, you should be happy that he was upfront with you instead of like dragging you on, you know?
I will never understand why men marry someone they don't love. They do it because they're just checking a box. They're doing a thing that they need to do. And it's a bonus that they're marrying someone they don't love, so that when they cheat on them, they don't feel so bad. By the time they get to the point that they're cheating on them, they probably even hate them, resent them greatly. And let's face it, there is no greater lubricant for an affair than utter contempt for your spouse. Men do not see love as sacred. They don't see it as necessary. They don't see marriage as sacred. They see it as necessary for them to get the needs met, necessary for them to further their life along, necessary for them to meet the goals that they have. And their goals don't end at getting married and having a family. It's just another thing on the list. Once they get married and have a family, that's when they're like, oh, great, I can now strive higher. And when they say higher, they mean something better. And that's not the woman that they married, the wifey material. Wifey material is code for person I will use, not person I will actually love, cherish, adore, and value. They're going to keep the person. They're going to keep the wifey material, have her keep those home fires burning, and then the fire in his pants is going to keep burning with someone else. And since he doesn't really like his wife, he doesn't love his wife, it's very easy for him to do it. He doesn't feel bad. He doesn't have as guilty of a conscience. It doesn't weigh on him. In his mind, at that point, he says she had it coming.
The fact of the matter is, a lot of these modern women don't like honesty. They don't like it at all. They don't like honesty. They don't like lies. They don't like anything. What they like is anything that will make them feel good in the moment. And then when it doesn't make them feel good, or they have consequences about the things that make them feel good in the moment, then they want you to come in and fix that. So you're constantly running behind them and trying to fix their feelings. That's essentially what they mean by read the room. Know when I'm upset. Know when you should try to fix my feelings versus knowing when I want to be left alone. Men don't have time for that. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. I can be nice about it, or I can be a little less harsh about what I'm saying to you. But we're not going to sit up here and beat around the bush. You have to know what you have to know. If your boss come in talking to you sideways, you go ahead and do the project, get it to them by 5 o'clock and go on home. And you get there early in the morning the next day, bright and early, with your coffee and everything, ready to do the job to the best of your ability. No problems. But if a man should even so much as sneeze wrong, you got a problem with him.
Squeeze me? I'm so tired of hearing about the male loneliness epidemic, so let's talk about the female loneliness epidemic, because we're experiencing one too. The one where men treat you like you're some fantasy object, and the moment they realize you're an actual human being with thoughts, feelings, and emotions, they're gone. Or when they want you for your body, but never have any intention of actually getting to know it or respecting it. Or when they want you for your emotional intelligence, even though they have no intention of ever reciprocating it. Or when they want you for what you can do for them, but they don't want you for who you are. That's loneliness. Crying yourself to sleep every night next to a partner who claims to love you even though his actions never follow his words, that's loneliness. Being too afraid to open yourself up to love and opening yourself up to men because we live in a world where SA and femicide is so normalized, that's loneliness. The difference is that the male loneliness epidemic is self-inflicted and the female loneliness epidemic is self-preservation.
Okay, I already posted an entire video on this, but TikTok literally censored a video where I was talking about how our free speech is being censored. But basically what happened is, yes, I got fired for a social media post about Charlie Kirk. And I'm gonna be so for real, I don't really care. I don't care. Like, my friends and family are more upset for me than I am because I was honestly miserable at this job. And it's like, okay, so you're telling me I no longer have to go to this thing where I get anxious and it makes me want to cry all the time? Say less. And second of all, like, I'm a hustler. I will always succeed. I'll always figure it out. I'm not bothered. Like, this was the redirection I needed. So if you're the person that reported me, thank you so much. Like, you did me a huge favor. Because I was hating my career, but I was comfortable, so I wasn't gonna take any step to redirect, and now I have to, and I needed that push. And it's more just crazy to me because I've been posting on the internet for so long, and I've posted a lot of crazy things, and so the fact that this is the line you cannot cross is about a podcaster. A podcaster. Like, can we be so serious? Can we be serious in this country for 2 seconds? And it's just funny that it's the same people who've been crying about cancel culture, crying about free speech for the last 4 or 5 years are the same people that are like, I'm telling on you, like, you babies. Just singing to the feds, you're not even getting a Happy Meal from it, you know? Like, get a job. Well, I need to get a job now, but you first. Also, anyone who knows me knows, like, I rarely post anything serious. I was completely joking, and this post was over a Tokyo Tony sound. Like, that's how deeply unserious this was. And some of the best times of my life has been when I've been unemployed, because now I get to, like, do what I want. So I'm gonna enjoy that for a while before I'm like, okay, let me get a job. Like, for better or for worse, our generation, we're not even gonna retire, okay? So I have decades of working ahead of me, so if I can just take some time to chill, I'm gonna do that. So yeah, this is just another stamp in my book of baddie. Like, this is just part of the lore, and I'm not gonna sit here and cry like a little like the people that are running around ratting and snitching, because that's just not my style.
One thing about me, I want to get married. I want the fantasy that I always dreamed of. I want the love that I always yearned for. I want to be in love with the same person for the rest of my life. I do. Like, I've mentioned this before, but I don't think y'all really understand that, you know, them little flings, all of that, that does not serve me anymore. I am a grown woman and I know what I want. And when you know what you want, you're not going to accept nothing less than that. Simple as that. I want a love just meant for me. I want my person. Y'all don't understand that. Y'all want temporary satisfaction, lust, all of that. No, I want to be in love. Okay? And that's all there is to it. I'm going to get married one day, and that's it. I know in this generation it seems impossible, but I'm going to get married and I'm going to be happily ever after. Simple as that.
How dare you? Of course, the female loneliness epidemic is self-preservation. I mean, it's always got to be, I'm protecting myself, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But for a man, his loneliness is his own doing. It's his punishment. You see, this is, for us, this is good. For us, we have no choice. We're victims. But for men, they made it this way. This is their problem. No accountability whatsoever from these modern women.